Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about artists on social media. Maybe you are already a very successful artist on social media like Instagram and you're trying to get represented by galleries entering the art world, or maybe you are already accepted in the art world like graduated from a prestigious art school and you're trying to succeed on social media. No matter what is your direction, where you come from, this video will be relevant because no matter if we hate social media, we love it, we embrace it totally, or we want to be a digital minimalist and try to avoid using social media, we cannot ignore the power of social media in the world of art in 2020. And that's why in this video I'll talk about the issues surrounding social media. No matter if you are going into or coming from social media as an artist, it will be totally relevant, and hopefully I can help you come up with a strategy based on my understanding of social media. I want to start today's video with a very personal story. A few years ago, I was working as a multimedia technician in a team of 20 similar people, but they were a lot older than me, senior to me, and they had tens of 20s of years of experience in the world of communications, marketing, and all of that jazz. And I was in a night out casually speaking to some of my colleagues, and one of the more senior colleagues told me, you know what, you should stop using social media. And I was like, what do you mean? Which one particularly? Because there are so many and they're all different. And she was like, I know what you did on YouTube. I did not like it. And I think you should remove all your videos because real filmmakers don't use YouTube. And I was quite shocked because I knew it was not true. At that time, I knew already social media would be the future, and many Hollywood established award-winning filmmakers were using social media to promote their films and to promote their projects and their charity, to maybe push a message, to be an activist, and politicians were using social media as well. And guess what? Now we know that it's very important, it's everywhere today, but at that time, I knew it's coming, and I think what she was saying was not true. And she was very bitter, she was very serious, and she was telling me to stop using social media. She actually meant it. So I didn't want to cause an argument, so I just say, you know what, one day if you become my boss, I will totally listen to you. That didn't happen. She was never my boss, and I did not work with them too much longer afterwards. And I started working with social media, on social media, for this very private gallery and very private art project. I had been talking to different groups of artists established in the art world, going to biennales, going to top art fairs and art exhibitions, and I was talking to them, and many occasions they were telling me that the social media artists, the Instagram artists, were not real artists because they will never be in the art history book or any relevant book, and they will never be published. This attitude really annoys me, and I think it is not necessary because, come on, it's inevitable to have more and more artists converting to social media and to actually use social media as a way, institutionalizing social media, I would say. And also, having social media is rather a personal choice. And again, if you like it or not, other people can have their opinions, and it should be a personal freedom. And we shouldn't penalize or stigmatize the usage of social media. I think it's totally a personal freedom, even a professional freedom, if you may say. That is not exactly a problem. The real problem is when you try to cross over. So if you are an art school graduate trying to succeed on social media, or if you are a social media artist trying to go into art school, this is when you face resistance. You will face a lot of negative bias against you because where you come from. And this goes both ways, seriously. I know many very successful institutional artists. When they go to social media, they get 2 digits followers. And I also know some other very successful social media artists, like the most famous artist on Instagram. I follow him, and I saw that he was applying to study art at Yale, and he was rejected. I'm not saying that he was rejected because he is the most famous artist and he used social media, but guess what? I cannot rule out this possibility, and because who he was and what he represents did not fit the institutional world, and many people had the bias against him, and that had blinded them from recognizing that he was a bright young man, that he would totally achieve whatever he wanted to achieve, including in the surrounding of art school, but he was never given that chance by Yale. Maybe one day you'll be accepted by other institutions. Maybe you did not have this personal experience. Maybe your friends didn't have this experience, but that does not mean that it will never happen to you. So no matter where you come from, when you try to cross over, it's almost like you're divided by the Congo River. On one side is the bonobos, on the other side is the chimpanzees. And when you try to cross over, you're not accepted, you're going to be bashed, you're going to be downgraded, you're going to be looked down upon, and it goes both ways, and it's not a very positive thing. I'm not making this video just to tell you how negative you will be when you try to make something different out of your career. What I really want to say in this video is how to react when you try to cross over. I think I have some experience in terms of crossing over because traditionally I was trained as academically a filmmaker. I went to film school, I did 4 years, I did my BA in film production, and then I did 1 year more in the Faculty of Art History. I tried to use social media. I also faced the same difficulties when I tried to cross over, and then now I have been working on social media for several years, and I could reach totally maybe 300,000 followers across different platforms, and I think I had the taste of the both worlds. And from this experience, I can tell you a few things when you try to cross over to the other side of the Congo River. First of all, you have to be mentally prepared. I'm telling you these negative experiences to help you get mentally prepared. Is that one day when you cross over, you will face biases, you will face a lot of resistance, and it is not personal. It's not because you are from this world and you are who you are. It's simply because it's, let's say, rather peer pressure, right? So if a very established curator in the academic world of the contemporary art world embraces a social media artist, he will be penalized for being the ally of the wrong side. So penalized, I don't mean that by law, I mean that by peer pressure. So this is the first thing that I want to tell you, and that's why I'm telling you all the negative things about the opinions of others. The second thing you need to prepare is you have to be ready to lose all your privileges, all of the things that you had taken granted for. For example, you had achieved maybe a MFA or PhD, and you go to social media. Guess what? You're nobody. You are absolutely nobody, and you have to start from zero. Vice versa, you are a very successful artist with maybe 500,000 followers. When you go to the Gagautians or you go to a prestigious art gallery in the world, and they will look at you like you're nobody, and all your previous achievements from your world would mean very little to them. Maybe they're impressed in the inside, but this will not give you a straight green light to their chamber to be embraced and accepted by them. The next thing you need to know is that you have to follow a different set of rules, and that is, it could be like an algorithm, it could be also man-made or unspoken rules. For example, when you are a digital artist from the social media, you follow algorithm, you follow a way to get followers. But then when you go to the contemporary art world, you have to build a body of work within the rules of contemporary art. That is very different from social media, vice versa. The last thing you need to know is that you have to speak a different language than your mother tongue or your native language. Maybe natively you speak the world of contemporary art, and you want to use the same language to communicate your art, talk about your art to the people on social media. But this will not work because people on social media, generally, they are not selected by the art schools, and they have a different background, they have different levels of education. I'm not saying that it's bad or good, but different. And they might be literally speaking a different language, period, like Chinese, for example. And you have to be ready to use very simple language in order to get your message through. And simple, not saying it's worse or it's diluting your genius or talent in art. I'm just saying that you have to meet your audience by speaking their language in order to make them understand what you're trying to do, to make them realize how great you are as an artist. So if you're willing to give up your privileges and put up with some biases from the other world, and if you're willing to follow their rules, understand their rules, play by their rules, and speak a different language and learn that language, master it, you will be able to succeed, and it will take time. If you spend 5 years to get your MFA, it will take you 5 years to achieve the equivalent of what you have achieved in the art world, in the social media world. And this is inevitable because it's going to be hard work either way. So if you're willing to do that, definitely you can. No matter which way you're trying to go, hopefully my videos are adding value to you, because all these videos I put out there, over 250 videos I uploaded so far, are about helping you get to the other side so you can have the best of both worlds. And if you face frustration and you find that you're not getting the results that you wanted, and perhaps this is the reason that you are actually crossing the border and trying to go to the whole new world, and you don't know the language and you don't know the realities, and that's why you're not getting the results that you wanted. And I'm asking you to keep an open mind, to try not to bash the different kind of artists that are different from your own, because you are basically hurting yourself by doing that. You're blocking your own possibilities. So keep an open mind and keep a consistency, build a body of work, and moreoverly, the proof of value, that you're able to demonstrate that you're valuable, you can give value to either social media followers or to the people that you want to work in the art world, so that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And that's all for today. If you have any questions, or if you want to discuss further in this topic, make sure you leave a comment below. And if you find it interesting, make sure you give it a like. That's all for today, and see you in the next video.